Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ericka Young. And we're so glad you joined us today.
All right, y'all, come on. Let's get into it. Hey, guys. We're here with the For Better and Worth podcast where you don't have to sacrifice getting better while you build your net worth. We are your hosts, Chris Young and
Ericka Young.
And we're so glad to be with you guys today, and we hope that those listeners that are joining us as we take you on this journey, that you get excited, just like we're excited. What do you think, babe?
Absolutely. We are so glad that you are here, and we look forward to this journey called For Better and Worth.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. You know, this is episode 1. We've been planning for this, and now we're finally launching out into the deep. We've talked about doing this for a long time, and you know, it's really interesting when we had conversations about doing something. We always thought we'd do something together, and now, voila, here we are.
Absolutely, and I'll be honest with you. For years, I was nervous about doing any kind of business with this guy because he loves to be the boss. This man.
Somebody's got to do it. So.
And I suppose somebody has to follow. Well, we'll see.
But you know what? That's why it makes a good pairing because, you know, for those of you who don't know us, you know, we've been in this thing for 24 years. We just celebrated our 24th year of marriage. And, you know, we've been on this financial journey together from day one, from, you know, really not having a lot to, you know, God really blessing the work of our hands and providing in tremendous ways. And so what we hope to do is just share some of those things along this path and along this journey of, you know, how it's been for us, for the Young family. And so,
you
know, but I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't, you know, go ladies first. So I just really want to ask, you know, Ericka, when you think about what we're hoping to accomplish or what you're hoping to accomplish from this podcast, what would you say is your why for, you know, choosing to do this at this point?
Well, you know, I've been a financial coach for a long time. I've talked with people one-on-one for nearly 18 years now, helping them crush debt, win with money, embrace a budget, have a financial future they can be proud of. And I really want to shift the conversation from one to one to one to many. And so that's important to me. And I think with all of those years of experience, 500 plus clients and lots of speaking events and things of that nature, there's something to be said for everybody. And so I just am really excited about the opportunity to share some of that knowledge as well as some of our personal experience and how we do life together financially, because I think that both sides of that coin are really important and can add some value to our listeners.
All you
here.
listeners out there that's sleeping on, you know, the expertise, she dropped all the credentials right there at the doorstep. It was like, boom, here are all the credentials that she has. And I think it's interesting that, you know, she's had practical experience working with clients, but, you know, we have experience from a perspective of being a couple, you know.
Yeah.
And if you guys are out there wondering, you know, I've worked in corporate America for, you know, the last 20 plus years and, you know, various positions, various roles. I started out as a sales guy and, you know, got into sales leadership and, you know, now I do a little bit more, you know, administrative, like account management type of things, not really selling anymore. But I just enjoy it. And, you know, kind of my why is I look back and I think about growing up, you know, being from Detroit and how I saw my mom, you know, she struggled, but she found a way to make things work and to make things happen. And so when we entered our marriage, we really went into marriage with this mindset of we wanted to create a different legacy, a different generation, and change our family tree and our generational tree. And so for me, it's just really important to share insights that we've garnered over the years. And Ericka does this work professionally, but it's so funny that I find myself at work or with people, I get excited about money and finances and debt reduction and saving and all of that stuff.
He's a money nerd too. Embrace your money nerd side, husband. You can
Yes,
do
I've
it.
given away, what Erica charges, handsomely for. And so now this is my format and my venue to be able to share some of the things that, I think people need to hear. And together, I think we have a very good and compelling story. So I ask that you stick with us because the journey is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and there's going to be a lot of stories along the way. And we try to keep it lighthearted and fun because life is short. So
Yeah, absolutely. We got tons of awesome content, tons of topics that we would love to share with you. And we actually want to hear from you. So if you have any suggestions, questions, concerns, things like that, feel free to reach out to us. We will make all of that contact information available at the end of the episode as well or in the show notes. But the other thing that I want to say is what gets me excited is helping other marriages be healthier, happier, and wealthy on that path, whatever that financial freedom idea looks like for you. So just know that you don't have to sacrifice. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that you understand you can have a healthy, happy relationship and figure this money thing out too.
before we get deeper into it, it just came to my mind. I remembered when we first started on this journey of getting out of debt when we were first married, and we had some friends. And I remember saying to one of them, I was like, look, you better get your situation together and get your money right. Because if you want to roll with me or roll with us, we going places. And what's funny is we were broke,
We had no business
right? We,
saying
we
that.
had debt and, we didn't have significant savings, but we had a mentality and we had a mindset.
Mm,
And I really think a lot
mhm,
of things in life, it really does start with a mindset. So it doesn't matter, to our listeners out there, it doesn't matter where you're starting. Just start with the right mindset.
mhm.
Because if you get the right mindset, ooh, man, it can take you places. You can do things with it.
Yeah. So what are some of those mindset shifts that you feel people need to have in order to really build a successful portfolio as well as
You know,
relationship?
I think you have to start with knowing your own self worth. And if you value who you are, and if you are comfortable in the skin that you walk around in, and you can look in the mirror and say, "Hey, I love me," that's the place to start first of all, because I think that's the foundation to having a level of confidence and just going out into the world and conquering and accomplishing things. And you got to love you. And if you love you, then you're going to believe in you, even when other people don't. Even when
Mm.
circumstance look bleak or they look tough, it's going to be the thing that continues to motivate you to grind. You know, I still say uh, I've got I've got my Rick Ross mantra. Every day I'm hustling. So it's a hustle. And so I just try and really keep myself focused and comfortable with who I am. Not arrogant or anything like that, but just, have some swagger about yourself and love who you are because that self love is, we hear that word now, self love with mental health, but that self love it can take you really far.
I think that's good because if we don't start off with the right mindset, the rest of anything that we have to say is not going to matter, right? So I appreciate you sharing that because I think that if we can really focus on our internal well being, then whatever we give to our spouse, our significant other, our partner, whatever we, feel like we can accomplish and do, that stems from your personal self-worth. So start there and figure out what's working for you and what's not, because sometimes we have thought processes around our who we are and how we've been created and what we like and what we don't like. Deal with that internally and know that it doesn't matter where you are right now, you can go up from here. I think it's important that you know it doesn't matter where you start, there's always a place you can go up from there.
Absolutely. And as you were saying that, I was thinking about like I deserve it.
Mm,
I'm worth it. But now let me clarify because some people say, "Oh, I deserve it," and then you go out and you treat yourself on debt. You treat yourself on a credit
mm,
card. You rob Peter to pay Paul, or you short this so you can do that. I'm not talking about that type of I deserve it. It's that, hey, maybe I'm going to sacrifice in the short term to benefit in the long term, but I deserve it, so I'm going to do what's necessary. And sacrifice is part of the equation sometimes. And I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice forever, but there may be a period where you have to sacrifice this for what we like to call, the bigger yes.
Yes. And I would say even that sacrifice where it might be trade off, right? So just know that you deserve the type of financial future that is sustaining. You deserve the type of financial future that can help generations. You deserve the type of financial future that you can enjoy and relax and feel good about without stress, strain, or struggle. And I think we're trading off some of the comforts maybe of today or the flashiness of what worth could look like today for that future self that is sustaining, long lasting, and creates that generational wealth that we
Look, I'm
started
gonna add
talking
another
about.
credential, to your whole list of credentials, psychologist.
Come on now. I mean, hey, you know what? That's a part of the job. I hate to say it. I don't have any, actual degree in it. But when you talk to people, hundreds of them, you start thinking about what is beyond the numbers, and that's a lot of what is beyond the numbers is what's going on mentally, and how do I help people make sure that they have that healthy mental shift so that they're ready to either receive wealth, give wealth, attract wealth, all of that.
And this being episode 1, we just want you to get a feel for us, for myself, Chris, and for Erica. But I want you to also know that we've been at all the different levels. We've been at the not enough, and we've been at the more than enough. So no matter where you are and you're listening to this
Hmm.
podcast, don't tune out, but we ask you to tune in because there's something that can benefit people at all levels. And we're still on this journey. We haven't reached our ultimate, end game, but we're certainly on our way. And hopefully that you can
Hmm.
take some of the lessons learned, from our experiences and apply them to your own life and your own situation and go out and have some swagger about yourself.
He loves that word. I think he's just like
Swagger.
saying it. That's right. That's right. You got to have some swagger. You got to have some, hold your head up, your shoulders back. And that helps you to think positively about where you're going because we've never arrived. There is no arrival. This is always a journey. It's always intersecting with life. There's always things that we could do better. There's always learning to be had. And because we don't have it all figured out, we're all in this together. So keep your head up because that way you can see all the opportunities around
So
you.
what can you guys expect from us? You can expect some candor, you can expect some light jokes, try to be a part-time comedian. But you can also expect, we'll give you some principles, a couple of things we try to leave you with. And I had an idea, but it totally eluded me what I was going to say. So come back to me.
You can also expect us to disagree. I think one of the biggest misconceptions about where we are is that people think we are the same, that we always agree, that our ideas are similar. The way that we want to do things is the same, and that is absolutely not true. There's been a lot of times where Chris and I have differed, and we've still been able to push through and either successfully make the decision that needed to be made or that we needed to shift and adjust or compromise or understand that right now in this moment whatever the issue is not as high a priority as we thought it was. And so we don't always agree, and so I don't believe that agreement is absolutely necessary for you to win with money or for you to advance in progress. And I think getting on the same page is great, but you are not going to always be in the same, paragraph, in the same line item, and you're not going to do it the exact same way. But you do need to respect the differences and the advantages that each of you brings to the table, because I think that that's what makes the relationship beautiful. And so you will see us disagree, and I think that's fine. I think that's okay, and it's important for you to
If you
witness.
guys only knew how long I've been trying to get this girl to pull through park. My goodness.
And you know what? Sometimes I'm ornery and I just sit there and I don't pull through because I know he's waiting on it. So
Tell her I'm
there
a
you go.
professional driver. I'm like, come on, I've been
Yeah.
trained.
Yeah.
That is a
Hmm.
principle. Pull through park. You know, accidents occur during the process of backing in parking lots. Come on, people.
Yeah, you didn't have to pay for that one. He just gave that to you for
That's
free.
a little free, tidbit. Take these little snippets as you get them, apply them to your life, and go off and be better.
Go be a better driver on a financial and marriage podcast.
You never know what you're
Awesome.
gonna get from us. Just a little. We'll give you the money. We'll give you some parking tips. We'll give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So that's why you got to
You're
come
welcome.
in. You got to listen to the episodes because you never know what you'll walk away with.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love it.
For better and worth, most people say we all heard, for better or worse, and people say, well, why'd you guys choose that? I think for me, for better and worth, I want the best of both worlds. I want the best of both things, and I don't want to sacrifice.
And you don't have to sacrifice. And I think a lot of people think that something is going to suffer if you get more money, then maybe your relationships suffer. Or if you focus on your relationships, maybe you just didn't have time to really implant the financial freedom that you desire. And so I think you can have both. We got it.
Yeah, it's out there. You can go and you can get it, and we want to just talk to our listeners about, how we've been able to do that. And I think it was an important point that you brought up that we don't always agree on money things, but we don't agree on, everything. There's fundamental ways that Erica goes about doing things. I'm like, well, why you do it that way? This way is more efficient. Or, she looks at me like, well, why do you do it that way? You should do it this way. It's just so funny. Like we'll try and be doing a menial task, and we both have two different ways of doing it. But I think the bigger thing is that we always find the middle ground and the compromise that helps us, stay aligned so we can accomplish the task. And that's what you have to remember. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your eye on what's most important. It's not about being right. It's about accomplishing the goal.
Absolutely. I think that's good. Keep your eye on the prize. That might be the is it worth it statement for the day. Keep your eye on the prize. Keep your head up. Let's do
I like
this.
that. The is it worth it statement.
Hmm.
Yeah, we as you develop these podcasts and these platforms, we want to make sure we have some consistency. So you'll get your is it worth it?
All right. So here's the deal. Is it worth it? Yes. Come back for our next episode of For Better and Worth.
So hey guys, we appreciate you joining us and listening today. We'd ask you to share this with your friends and your family.
Subscribe.
Click that like, click that download. If you want to reach out and find us, you can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And keep any questions coming if you have any. We can't wait to connect with you guys and interact with you. And keep listening. We'll be
All
here.
right, we're out. Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all your support. So be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up for our email on forbetterandworth.com.
Till next time, we're out of here.